Hello everyone, Kerry Hall today coming at you with Tourism Overhaul from the beautiful hills of St. Joseph at one of our favorite places in the world, Coco Hill Forest. Now today the topic will be on voluntourism, and I know you've heard me talk about voluntourism for quite some time now, and I know you've heard me say that there is a new tourist driving in new tourism, and this tourist is more environmentally and socially conscious. Not only are they looking for unique, meaningful, immersive and authentic experiences, these people are also looking to give back to host communities. And we find that this is a trend that is blowing up all around the world. The modern day traveler is looking for more integration with the local communities, a more participatory approach to tourism, where they're able to immerse themselves and to make a positive impact on the destination. Now, we're here today at Coco Hill to meet with Mr. Mamood Patel, one of our very, very good friends, because he does volunteerism up here and he does offer volunteerism activities. So he has a group of both foreign and locals here today to assist him in several projects around his property here at Coco Hill. So we're going to go and talk to Mamood about volunteerism, but he's just about to give his little intro presentation to his group. So we're going to join him right now. Morning, Mamood. Sorry.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Hello, team.
Hi.
How do you do?
Good.
Mamood, thanks for having us. Please continue your presentation.
Right. So what I was saying here, like 90 years ago, wherever all of this was sugarcane and has been abandoned because of soil erosion issues. The challenges, 400 years of sugarcane monoculture created desertification and massive soil erosions. There used to be a village right here called Little Scotland that had to be moved into over there in Erie Hill and Lamins and so on, and all of this was abandoned because of soil erosion. So what we have been trying to do at Coco Hill is how can we fix this problem of the erosion and the abandonment of this land. The Scotland district is 17% of our land mass that is abandoned. It could be our food basket or fruit basket. So that became part of the journey of Coco Hill. And then what we did is use this methodology called regenerative agriculture, where you look at the soil and you kind of more or less mimic forests in the way you do your agriculture. And that's one of the things we started to do. Another thing we realized is that for the majority of those 400 years, all the sugarcane beds were planted downhill in clay. Rain falls, it washes away everything. There is a UN report that speaks about 50% of the topsoil in the Scotland district is in the Atlantic Ocean. That's how damaging that type of agriculture was. The remedy to that is to look at terracing, regenerative agriculture, replant trees that will put roots into the ground, do a lot of cusp planting, basically what you call riparian. And that's what we've been attempting to do over the last 7 years as well. So not only doing farm to table, but then the project has evolved because as you go into these kinds of projects, you realize that we have some structural issues in Barbados. When you look at food security, when you look at our land use policy and so on. The other thing direction that Coco Hill started evolving to is that with research we realized that we have lost a lot of our biodiversity because again the sugar culture. It's one of the few places in the world actually that was completely plantationized, cut everything down, plant one crop, sugarcane. So we have lost a lot of our plant biodiversity. And so slowly what we've been doing is to try to reclaim, try to replant things like coffee, cocoa. Barbados had 3 varieties of pineapples in the 1600s. Unfortunately, we lost those, but it is called Antigua Black. It was called Barbados Black. We have it here now, so we keeping that as a repository as well. We used to plant teak, mahogany, whitewood, Spanish oak. We've found those seeds and we're replanting those trees as well again. So that's one of the things that Coco Hill started to go down. It's like becoming a floral repository of stuff that we lost in the last 300-400 years. COVID came along and kind of put a big disruption, a big blow to that project, to our project. And one of our ways to readapt, to restart, to regrow again is through volunteers. And this is what we are trying to do now, is to create a volunteer program, volunteer tourism, volunteer movement, where we could do some of this kind of what I call social work, replanting trees and so on, to catch back up, to recover, to recover from a post-COVID reality. But I also think that it could be a good kind of tourism as well, in that it's a more circular kind of tourism. Tourists come to Barbados, or visitors come to Barbados, they enjoy our beach and so on, but it's also maybe a little bit of give back. It don't only have to be in planting trees, but it could be in other activities as well, cleaning up beaches, doing social work with older people and so on. And to me, that's a more inclusive way of doing tourism. To me, it's more real, it's more tangible. It is not a master-servant relationship, but it creates a kind of community as well. And so I would like to say that that's the direction Coco Hill would like to take. We have a long, long way to go. We would like to still bring back a lot more of the fruit trees and flora that we lost. I use Schomburg, History of Barbados, and Richard Lejeune, History of Barbados, as my references, and you can probably find those books in the Barbados Museum, but it is a good source to know what we had before sugar cane. We are graveling the pathways, which is hard work.
Hard
work.
But fun.
But fun. And we're taking buckets up to the top by the mound, just past the mound. You know, most of us know we're going to stockpile it there. And then later on, we'll take that stockpile and take it down to the pathways.
Okay, so that's today's project.
That's today's project.
That sounds like real hard work,
It's a lot.
Mamood.
But it was a monumental.
But very fulfilling, I'm sure. Very fulfilling.
Yeah.
And this team looks up to the challenge. They look fit and ready to go. So that is great.
All right, so let's go. Let's
Are you
go.
joining us?
Once I finish having my little chat with Mamood, I'll pick up a shovel. I'm not adverse to that. So Mamood, so what are we doing today? We're taking this gravel.
Gravel and carrying it all up. I mean, what we're doing is putting the gravel on the clay pathways in the forest. Well, because the clay, when it rains, gets really wet
Yes.
and slippery, and people slide. And so we want to, make the experience of walking a little more enjoyable.
Yes.
And so this is what we're doing right now. But it also helps us to be more productive too.
Yes.
Because once we get good pathways, it's easy to get in the forest and plant.
Okay, great. So this volunteerism has benefits. Not is it just personally fulfilling, but it keeps you really fit and healthy, man. Because this is not for the lighthearted. You're looking real good though. Yes, definitely see you there. I'll definitely wave. There you go. You got this. So we're going right to the top.
One of the tops. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the tops.
Not the top, but
One of the tops. I know there's several tops.
several tops.
Yes. Here, Coco Hill.
Yeah. And we do it assembly line, so not one person's not responsible for the whole entire.
Right, you do a chain.
Yeah.
That's
Which makes it fun.
good.
The bucket, and then we move up to the first level.
Okay.
And then they'll
jump in, and then they'll bring back the buckets, and we'll
yeah,
fill
then
it
we
again.
develop a chain after
Yeah.
Can I grab these?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go. Let's see what's going on here. Wow. When is this chain going to start?
Well, I'll just take these up and then ask someone to be on the.
Yeah, no, just
Where's the chain, my dear?
Well, the chain really supposed to start here, but everybody feels.
You see me here blowing like a broken down trotter already? And I didn't even get to the first level. This is for when you finish doing this after a day's work. This is a serious workout. I thought this was the top. Viewers, Mamood?
We're gonna stop when it right here where you're dropping it, and then just face back, right? And then this is probably my point, and then somebody could be at the top, so you don't kill yourself.
Okay.
Really?
Very, very.
A little late for that, Mamood. A little late. You're welcome.
Thank
Here,
you.
buddy.
Yeah, good, awesome.
Yeah, we got a good thing going here. Of course, I'm on the flat part when everybody else is pulling a hill, but who's counting? Looking good, girl, looking good. Burning off the good from yesterday.
Yes.
Right, buddy. Let's go, team. Let's go, let's go. Great job, soldier. All right. Don't fall ours. Where Mamood? Let's go, Mamood, let's go. There he is. There's our soldier.
Down, take it from me.
Right, cool. All right. Wait, my girl, you got back very quick. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. How come it's only one bucket? I thought it was two.
Is that empty?
Yeah. Hello again, everyone. We just commandeered off of the assembly line one of the volunteers. Her name is Tony. Tony
Nichols.
Tony Nichols.
Hi, everyone.
Tony, it's so lovely seeing you. You are so effervescent and bubbly. You're just like the climate and the atmosphere up here at this altitude here in St. Joseph in Coco Hill Forest. Could you tell us a little bit about who you are? Why are you out here?
Absolutely.
Running up and down these hills with two buckets, with a smile on your face, like you seem to be really enjoing this.
I love it. I love it. I've been doing this for a few months now,
Oh,
and
that's great.
I don't miss a Saturday.
No, it's good exercise though, huh?
Oh, it's the best.
Yes.
So my name is Tony Nichols. I am a clinical neuropsychologist, born in Barbados, raised in Canada, and I moved back to Barbados 8 years ago for this.
That is amazing. I applaud that.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh, it's the
that
best
deserves a
place.
hand.
It's the best place. And so I started to volunteer with Coco Hill Forest about a few months ago when they started the volunteer program. And I'm doing it for several reasons. First and foremost, it's such a good cause. It's what Mamood is doing is so important for the region, for the island and for the region in general. And I do it for personal reasons too. It's a good workout, incredible scenery. And as a neuropsychologist, I understand that being out in nature and just interacting with nature is important for mental health and brain development for children as well. So I would love for everybody to get out as much as possible and interact in nature. I'm doing a certification in eco-psychology,
Wow.
which is marrying psychology with ecology.
Yes.
And several studies have shown the importance of just being out in nature in any form, what it does for mental health and brain development is so crucial. So for personal reasons, I'm out here every Saturday, and it's just a wonderful experience.
No, that is so wonderful, and this real upsurgence of activities such as this because of COVID and the need to get outside, get some good old fresh air, sunshine, open spaces. That was what was highly recommended.
Yes.
But even without COVID, even though COVID kind of accelerated that, without COVID, this is something that we should still do.
Absolutely.
And that is very, very important.
I I've been an avid hiker for years.
Yes.
So this just sort of adds to the experience when you get to plant trees
Yes.
and maintain the trail. So it's just an absolutely wonderful thing. Even if you're not volunteering, just to come out and visit.
Yes.
It's just such a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful place. It's, you know, the trails are well maintained, but there's a wildness to it.
Yes.
Which I think
It's
is,
rustic. It's still very
that's
authentic.
why I love it.
Yes.
So much. Yeah.
And what I like about this, even though we were talking about volunteerism, I want Barbadians to come out and rediscover their beautiful island, to come into the hills. I don't think we are very much accustomed to this, hiking and doing these types of activities in terms of exercising.
Learning about plants,
learning
about how to grow their own
Coco
vegetable
Hill
garden.
is an incubator of knowledge. I mean, you know, from bees to plants to medicinal plants, you know, to the original plants in Barbados.
Yeah,
and Mamood is a treasure trove of information. So our visitors, yes, but this is something I want my Barbadian
love
people
for the schools
to
to
come
come
out,
out.
the youth especially to get some exercise, to learn. This is the perfect, and another sites such as this is exactly what Barbados needs right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are shocked when I send them videos of Coco Hill Forest.
Yes.
They think it's Dominica.
That's what I say. I keep saying that.
People aren't aware, and
Yes.
it's so easy to get to. And
Yeah,
it's just
they asked if it's
magnificent.
St. Vincent. I went to Naniki there
Yes,
last week,
yes.
and I'm like, people always want to know, is it Dominica? Is it St. Vincent? This is
right.
upside of Barbados. I said, let's come shift off the coastlines, let's get up into the hills. We have
Absolutely.
this here, and a lot of people are not aware that we have this ecosystem right here in beautiful Barbados, and we need to let the world know this exists.
I would love, hey, for the Ministry of Education,
Yes.
can we get the schools out?
Yes, yes.
You know,
I
would
agree.
love to see kids out here.
I
Just
completely
part
agree.
of the
Good.
curriculum.
That's a great plug. I agree with you. No, let's get the kids out here. We need our children because they're the ones, generation next, that are going to preserve and protect this country for
absolutely.
future generations. And they need to start appreciating, learning, coming and acquainting themselves with this green, so they know they have to protect Barbados for the
Absolutely.
future.
Yeah.
Generation now and generation next. So from the
Absolutely.
little goobers,
All the way
if we
up.
get them
Yeah.
into it and understanding and walking through these hills and these beautiful trees, I think the future is secure.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Look, thank you so much. It was
And
such a
thank you
pleasure.
for carrying a few buckets for us.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I wish she said a few, she means a few, right? Compared to everybody else. But thank you so much. It was a pleasure coming out and seeing you and all the other participants. It really warmed my heart. It was lovely meeting you.
Lovely meeting you
Thank you
too.
for coming back home, for coming back to us.
Thank you.
And sharing your
hardly a
expertise and your knowledge. Exactly. You know, when we live here, we tend to take it a little bit for granted. But when I see Barbados through the lenses of people who live overseas, who love this country and value it and see the beauty and everything that is good, I really realize we live in a beautiful, in a Shangri-La, a sanctuary.
Yeah, moving home was one of the wisest decisions I made.
I love to hear that, right? And I hope more of you come home and give back and bring your expertise and your knowledge and your love with you. So thank you so much. I'm sure we're going to see each other again.
Absolutely.
And enjoy the rest of the day.
Happy trails.
And I'll see you on the trails. I'll see you on the trails, girl.
Okay,
Girlfriend?
awesome.
All right, my dear.
Bye, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
You're welcome. Mamood, this is amazing. I mean, to see everybody working together, locals, visitors, working as one to, complete this wonderful project you have here, because what we're doing is we're protecting and preserving the environment. And I'm so happy to see everybody here with such enthusiasm. Now, the thing about volunteerism, as we call it, or travel with a purpose, or travel with a conscience, it has many different terms. This didn't just start recently. This started over a decade ago. I first was acquainted with volunteerism back in 2008, and I thought it was something that would have been wonderful for Barbados. Visitors come in, on vacation, but taking some time out to do charity work and make a positive impact or contribution to Barbados. I thought this could have been beneficial to Destination Barbados and its people. And I wrote policy papers on it in terms of saying this is an area we need to get involved in. And unfortunately, fast forward 14 years, hopefully we are now ready for this. Even though it's been around, we know that since COVID, we have a visitor now coming out with a different mindset. They understand we have been destroying Mother Earth and we need to do things differently. And we could change the world by even changing the way we travel. And people are traveling more responsibly and they want to create a more positive impact as opposed to a destructive or negative impact on destinations, and they want to make a positive contribution to the lives of local residents. And also during COVID, humanitarianism, compassion, random acts of kindness, people being very kind to people less fortunate, and this is now translated and accelerated volunteerism. Now, I want to ask you, and I know you're a research man and you're always very future forward. Based on what I just said, explain to me why you got into volunteerism. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this trend? Are you seeing people being more philanthropic in their behaviors and their thought processes? How did you come about doing this? Because I know today we're pouring gravel, but tomorrow we could be planting trees or whatever. How did you do this, and what is the response to your doing this project?
All right, I mean, there's such a deep question, or a
Yes.
question with many layers
Yes.
of
I apologize. See what you can do with it.
But
A lot to unpack.
a lot to unpack,
Yes,
right,
but let's
yeah.
do
All right,
step by
but
step.
Let's call it volunteer tourism
Yes.
or volunteerism.
Yes.
Both local and visitor. All right, so there are different layers to this. For sure, in terms of tourism, we went through COVID and people start to realize that, you know, we only got one Earth, we got to take care of it. When you get on a plane and travel, you're emitting tons of carbon. And, you know, tourism is actually the biggest consumption of our energy in Barbados,
Yes.
and also our food, our
Correct.
imported food,
Correct.
right, to supply the tourism market.
And also food waste,
And food
which
waste and so
contributes
on.
as well to, you know, methane, which is
To
more
greenhouse
which is
gases.
more destructive than carbon dioxide. So all of those.
And so, you know, ideas of this concept is not new at all, like, as you quite
Mm-hmm.
rightly said, and I think you probably wrote about that many years ago too. But you can create another kind of tourism that's not extractive.
Yes.
This is my philosophy. One, you know, I'm a
That gives back
post-colonial
more than it
child.
takes. Yes.
I'm a post-colonial child, knowing about sugarcane and the extraction that sugarcane created, both economically and socially. And for me, if I am involved in tourism or business, I don't want it to be extractive. I would like to, I would call it social capitalism or social enterprise, or whatever you do, you put back something into your economy that is a little bit more than what you saw, right? And so we have this million people that pass through Barbados every year as visitors. And I keep asking myself, that's a resource in a very economic way of thinking that you can mobilize to help develop Barbados. right?
Agreed.
And it creates something like a give back. So you come to Barbados and you're not only enjoying or beaches and
Yes.
stuff, and it's not only extractive, but in some ways you could give back, back to the community that you have this experience in a positive way.
Yes.
And what
Yes.
those things could be is a whole long list of stuff. Well, Coco Hill is involved in replanting tropical flora and so on, creating a repository, but it could be helping plant, go and learn to dive and help plant coral
Yes.
back into our sea.
Mhm.
It could be help to clean up areas. It
Yes.
could, help to create our wetlands. I mean, to preserve our
Yes.
wetlands too.
Yes.
That's another big thing that we need to do. We could go and help paint
Schools,
schools,
orphanages,
exactly,
you know what I
take
mean?
care- doing
Old
some
people's
social
homes,
work, you
yes.
know. There's so much you could do.
The
Work
Turtle
in a
Project. Because when I was at BTPA, I remember we did a brochure of volunteerism, and we
Yeah.
listed all of the different activities, and there are many. You could team up with Mr. Safri to feed the homeless, build homes for the needy. We said we're building 10,000 homes, build home, you
Yeah.
know, conservation,
There's
marine conservation, biodiversity conservation,
mean,
endless.
Coco Hill right now is functioning
endless
on
possibilities.
volunteers that have technical knowledge. Like we have one volunteer here that is her degree is in food security.
Yes.
And she's working with us, volunteering her time while she's doing her masters to help us map out that, doing research on that. So we that infusion or that cross pollination
Yeah.
is a positive.
Yeah, sharing the expertise.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and it's a way of giving back. It's creating a circular kind of tourism, in my opinion, that is
the
not.
best kind.
Yeah, it's not extractive. And
Yes.
then, you know what is really cool? We create a community.
Yes, everybody's
saw it,
here.
right?
I am now a part of the community.
You know, it's
We're
a little
family now.
community, a little community.
With a
that-
common cause,
Yeah.
coming together for a cause
Yeah.
and a purpose, and that bonds us together just
Exactly.
immediately.
And what these trails will do, because the challenge was that, for instance, the trails in the forest, were difficult for the more elderly or incapacitated persons to get to and enjoy. By putting this and doing some other work, we will be able to access, or more people will be able to access
Wow.
the real forest in Coco Hill.
Yes.
One of the few remaining forests in Barbados, which I think everyone should see. And that volunteer work intervention is going to help that to happen. And certainly on an economic level, I could not do this in a post-COVID reality because of what COVID, how it fractured our business and so on. I mean, on a economic way, this is how I can recover too, you know. But
that is a brilliant
asking
point.
Volunteers to help me out of this whole.
That is an excellent point. Because I'm sure there are a lot of other businesses just like you who cannot afford to bounce back. We say we're going to build back better, but sometimes building back better requires financial or human resources. So this intervention through volunteers helps you dramatically. And there's something I want to ask you. When I did my research on back in 2008 on volunteerism, they said the profile of the volunteerists was the youth traveler, people, you know, who are taking a gap year either before university or after, the post-career traveler, like 55 and over, who have retired, or just top executives. And this traveler was a more well-educated and affluent traveler. Is that, fast forward to 2022, is that who you're seeing? Are you seeing young, old? I know the Welcome Stampers have started their own network to volunteer and to give back to the Barbadian community, which I thought was fantastic. So because they're contributing not just economically, they're also giving back as well. Who are you seeing as your volunteers or your volunteerists?
Well, I mean, if you do a visual on it, it's everybody, right?
Yes.
It's everybody.
Correct.
Everybody so far.
All ethnicities, genders, ages,
profiles,
yeah.
Which I think is fantastic.
Yes.
It's like, absolutely, to me, it's a high. Because it is one, like I would say, it's one way to create community, is one way to create inclusion and a kind of dialogue as well, too. I'm seeing everybody. There's no... Later on today, we're going to get some young students, young school children come in. They're probably not even older than 16.
That is so good.
So what I can see is everybody is coming here. Like, yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic to know that this is a very inclusive. Inclusivity is what we're reaching for in terms of doing tourism differently, and tourism of the present and future is a more inclusive where it benefits all, it involves all. But what do you see then in terms of the scope for volunteerism? What would you like to see in terms of these types from a touristic perspective, from a local perspective? Do you think there's scope for the future? Do you think the future is now and this is the future? What do you think about this? You're doing it. Would you like to see more people do it, more businesses?
I would like to say that, you know, again, I said there's nearly 1 million people coming through Barbados as tourists every year, some cruise ship and landed tourists. That's an army. That could be a game changer. If you can get some, or, you know, create very visible programs, not only like through what we're doing here through our social media presence to call out for volunteer, but if we could take it to a national level, make it part of our tourism product, that come to Barbados and volunteer, and join up, sign up. So take it a lot more seriously and build it out. Yeah. Not only for tree planting, but for all aspects of whatever we do. I think it is a really good way to create what I call real tourism or positive tourism. I completely agree with you. And not just coming and participating and sharing your expertise and learning, but a lot of people also, there's something called Pack with a Purpose, where they bring school supplies, they bring like supplies for old people's homes and orphanages. So you could come and contribute physically and get involved in the process, a very intimate kind of small scale type of involvement, or you could make another contribution. So do you think it's all about strategic alliances with Red Cross and different charity events around Barbados, and then packaging it and letting the world know that these types of activities are involved? Because I remember when I was at the BTPA again, sometimes I would have people calling me and say, I'm coming in with a group of 30 people, but we want to give back. And we would then arrange with them to go and feed the homeless, or to go to an orphanage, or to go on a cleanup in the gullies, etc. So I think we just need, it's happening already. I think we just need to probably package it and make it more prominent. Yeah.